What's up, Roughneck crew? Roughneck Army. Who are you calling these people?
We call Roughneck Army, but that's a joke.
Oh. I thought y'all were being serious this whole time. We're back live. We're here with Anthony Gaona. I've never heard you say your last name, so I've just been making shit up this whole time.
Gaona.
Gaona? What?
Gaona.
Say it, Braxton.
Gaona.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm not trying.
Nobody ever nails it in the first try.
You got to get the mic in front of your face. There you go.
Oh. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah. Like it's a... No. Like it's a wiener. Real close.
That's all you play.
Yeah. Anthony Gaona.
Gaona.
Oh.
Just skip it.
I'm racist. So...
Anthony G.
Damn Trump voters.
Anthony G. From Hivemind. Doing
What's up,
massive land deals in Texas.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a good, honest living. Pays the bills.
Can't get that mic in your face.
More?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
The people want to hear you. They don't want to almost hear you.
How do I turn up the sensitivity?
Oh, we don't know. That's God. Where's God? Where you at?
We're good, y'all.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good now.
Hello.
So Hell says we're good. Real good.
Okay. So what's up, Anthony? What brings you to Dallas?
Oh, I just wanted to come hang out with those Roughneck guys, man. I see you guys' content getting pretty good. I saw that show where you guys were cleaning out that super nasty house. And then I was reading the comments and were like, I can't believe them boys put that shit on their face. I hope they got out of there healthy. I know those guys are some of the healthiest guys I know.
Dude, you came and cleaned the house out with us.
Yeah, he said he needed. I've never been to an eviction before, so I'm like, I bring a pistol. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just here to help.
Evicting them.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm a furniture mover, so.
That
nice, man.
That was the world's worst eviction.
It was pretty cool. We got some good content out of it. Constable was really nice. The tenants were really nice. Everyone was very cordial.
There was a giant yellow jacket's nest.
Where?
It was on the side of the house.
Did you not see it?
You didn't see?
I didn't see any bees at all. We were pretty much almost done at the end of that first day.
Dude, there was a big one. Constable came around. He was like 900, and he's like, I've never seen one that big. And yellow jackets are bad. You mess them up, they mess you up.
Damn.
So, what's up, Anthony? What's a big deal you got going on right now?
I don't got too many big deals. We got 243 acres we bought in Somerset, and we're entitling it for residential subdivision. So
what does entitling mean? Now, I listened to y'all's podcast, Steve Train. I was in the bathtub, so I didn't finish it. If we can be 100% honest, I didn't shit my pants that day.
That day.
Any
that
day
was
not
yesterday.
shitting your pants is a pretty good day, I would say.
Yeah, 40's been rough to me. But anyway, so yeah, I was in the bathtub listening to y'all and Steve Train chop it up, and I didn't even know what entitlements were. I had heard there's a guy that used to come into the studio that did some deals like that, but he's like a big money guy. I don't know, he's just passive investor.
Mm-hmm.
And he had kind of explained it to us, but break down entitlements, because entitlements is something that's like a foreign like concept, not necessarily to me, but definitely to the community.
Yeah. So it's pretty much just taking a piece of property that has like little to no restrictions, little to no zoning. So let's say agricultural, right? Guy has like a bunch of goats out there and he hasn't been to the property for years. So that's what they do. You would take it from there and let's say, hey, I want to put an apartment complex here or a self-storage. You got to go ask permission to do that, right? You can't just start throwing up an apartment complex with your cousin.
Hold on. I own the land. I've got the deed. It's between me and God at that point.
Yeah. I mean, depends how far you want to push that to the Supreme Court, but
You got in the government?
yeah, you gotta go ask somebody's permission, and it's usually like a local county, city. There's some kind of governing body that wants to know is like, hey, can I put 400 units here on this 4 acres? Like, well, no, you don't have the correct drainage. There's no public sewer there. So you're gonna have to get like a septic or commercial septic. So everybody just kind of wants to have a good look at it. So like that subdivision we're doing down there in Somerset, like you're gonna have to look at the fire marshal, right? The flood study got to go to the federal government, get sent out to FEMA and say, hey, look, here's how the water's gonna shed off this property after we install 180 homes. So that 4 months by itself, right? So that's all part of the process before you get to your stage where you take all your documents from your engineer, you take all your documents from that local municipality, you package it up, and then you submit it like to the county or to the city and say, here's what I'm going to do now.
And FEMA's included. What does all that cost?
This neighborhood, this is my first rodeo right here, guys. Okay, so bear with me. This is like literally the first subdivision I've done like this. It's going to be 180 lots, 30,000 square feet each. We got about, I want to say like 2.5 miles of road in there. It's probably going to be chip seal, but it's going to be like county spec approved road, electrical, water line. I think hard cost is going to be like maybe like 2M, something like that.
So
max.
$2 million. But y'all gonna do these improvements, or you're just?
I'm starting. I got equipment on site right now. They're gonna start laying down clay for the road right now. They're like doing it today.
So y'all have already got all the permitting and everything approved?
No. So all I'm doing is I got permission to go and clear the trees that were in the pathways of where all the streets are gonna go inside the neighborhood. And now I'm just gonna just drop some clay there because we're having trouble navigating it. It's a I call them a sand lot. I don't know if there's a better name for it, but the material's like beach sand is what it is. So you're driving a 50,000 pound rig back there, and it's gonna sink, and it's gonna be hard to get out. So we're gonna lay down like 15 inches of clay or 18 inches of clay and compact it down, so we can at least like navigate the whole ranch along that path where we cleared all those trees.
Okay. So some people do entitlements, and they go and they do all the engineering, and then once they get everything approved through FEMA and the government and God, we'll just call the government God.
Yeah.
And then they get it approved, and then that's an improved property at that point. You can sell it to somebody because then they can actually go to work on it because it's shovel ready at that point. Do y'all do that? Is that what you're going to do with this neighborhood, or you are actually going to build it all the way out?
I'm gonna build it out. So if I do the entitlements and then we sell that as a package to a developer, we could probably walk away with like 2 million or something, maybe 2.5. But if I throw in 2 more million into infrastructure and lay out all those roads, well, now we're targeting like 12 to 14 million in sales. So then I'm looking at making like 8 or 9 million. So like I'm not far enough along in my career to where I could just burn $5 or $7 million down. Like I really need it real bad. And then also I know that money's not realized like until you have those realized gains when that money's in your account. But right now I can afford to gamble, and I'm going to, I don't want to make 2. I need to make 10.
Okay. Yeah. So where did you go get the money?
Private money, private investors. Yeah. Just through my network, asking friends, asking those guys. And then we did a partial seller carry at 0% interest. So, we had the seller carry back 1.6.
So y'all are making monthly payments to the seller, all principal.
Yep.
Okay. And then the money for the improvements, you're still raising it, or you're going to raise it, or have you got that far along in the process?
We've got quite a few people that are kind of in line to give us money. So, like, even is it fully raised? Probably. If it's not, it'll be just a couple phone calls more.
Okay. That's cool. So, what other land deals have you done? I see the simple land deals, the 10-acre tracts.
Those are your easiest, cleanest deals, man. Those 10-acre subdivides, that really pays the bills. You can make like anywhere from between 100 and 500, on a simple deal that's going to take no more than like 6 to 12 months. And it's repeatable. Okay.
Have you done any of those?
Yeah, plenty of them.
That's
kind of our primary target for deals. We call that the first lens. So it's like if we can't get out in 10-acre tracts, we should just not do the deal at all.
Okay. So we got a deal right now. And I actually just texted the seller. It's under contract. 53 acres. We can't get water. There's water in the ditch, and they won't give us water meters.
Dang.
No drillable water. It's water is becoming a real problem in Texas. Have y'all ran into that? I guess y'all got drillable water there.
Probably, yeah. So that's like our main first requirement. When somebody sends me a deal and they say, hey, this guy wants so much and this acreage and it's in this area and all that stuff, that's my first question is what's the water situation? Is it public water? Is it groundwater? Do we have something in writing that says that they're going to give us those meters? We're doing it right now on quite a few properties. It's going to be $4,500 a meter for 3 meters. Yeah. But we need it. Like I need something in writing that says, hey, I got water. It's like, should we wait until we have them sold? No, let's order the meters now. And that'll be easier on the sales side when they know that they got a meter sitting there for that reason. And if we can't get water at all, then we're just not in at all. I don't want that land for anything.
Yeah, it's becoming a very difficult situation in Texas. The Waco area, it's actually kind of ass backwards in my mind, but the west side of Waco has water. They got Lake Waco. There's plenty of groundwater out there, I would assume, because we just drilled 5 wells on a property out there. But east of Waco, in between Waco and Groesbeck, there's no water. And I mean, the county water and the little water well companies that are out there, they're tapped out. They don't have any more meters. We're paying $35,000 on a 6 acre. It's 4 acres, but 6 lots that we subdivided. We have an 18 unit mobile home park behind it that probably takes up 3 acres, has 18 water meters. Okay. We're getting rid of that. We're turning that into an RV park. We wanted to take some of those water meters that are already in place. They're already there, and get them onto the 6 tracks that we have. The 4 acre, we'd subdivided 4 acres, the 6 tracks. I'm a little fucked up right now. The zen's hitting right.
You're a little zenned out.
I'm a little zenned out. But anyways, we wanted to just get them, hey, we don't want them here. Some of them are already on the lots. We just want to move them over here. They wouldn't do it. They said we had to upgrade the whole line.
Mm-hmm.
Something we missed in due diligence during this whole process. Now it's costing us $35,000. So, have you ran into any of that? Have they made you upgrade any lines? Have you?
We just did one in Tyler right now. They just sent them like $38,000 to upgrade that line.
Are those the ones we're doing the homes on?
Yeah.
Did y'all send us a wire?
I don't know. Call Daniel live right now.
No, I don't. I assume Jacob will tell us if we got a wire.
I asked some teams yesterday, the day before. He said no.
So, but we got the septic plans ordered. So
I talked to Mr. Jessup. I told him that you guys were going to throw some houses in for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? Lance?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Oh, he's excited. It's dope. I'm talking about 7 more houses.
Yes. Lance is the godfather of this.
Yeah.
Lance does this shit in his sleep. Lance wouldn't have missed that fucking upgrading the water line. He would have just been like, "You're going to need to upgrade that water line." I've been like, "That's impossible. We're going from 18 meters to 7. How could we possibly have to upgrade a water line?"
They just wanted to know. They want to engineer it in. They want you engineered. Maybe you're on some black poly pipe they haven't seen in 20 years. They just want a brand new line. It's up to however they design their infrastructure is based on what they get back from their own engineers that work for the city. So they say, hey, if they're going to start sucking a lot of water that way, that pipe's been there for 100 years. We just going to replace all of it.
The actual crazy part about that deal is we would not have got it done. We would have got told no. They would have not done it for us. But Jacob knew somebody that knew the president, and that's the only reason we got it done. They would have said no. They would have said we're not messing with it.
That's what it is, man. So when I talk to these counties, like sometimes you're getting in a meeting with the county commissioner, those guys, right? And they could be a-holes, right? Because they hold the keys to the kingdom. So do they want your development there in that area? Yes or no? And it's really up to them. And then you can say, okay, well, we followed the law to the T, so now we're going to sue you guys. But I mean, you want to start suing counties as a business model, right?
No, not at all. No, it's and that's some of what we've ran into. I mean, these are small deals. We thought that we had this one in the bag. The water meters were already on the land, and it's still something that jumps up and bites you in the ass. So,
yeah, that grandfathered in, man. You got to, if something's set a certain way, then you got to assume that it's the county or the city is always they're gonna honor it that way. But once you start making changes, yeah, then it's just whatever
they want to do.
Yeah, you're gonna open up a can of worms, so you got to be prepared for that. But I think we're all trading our hours of our lives for cash. So just do something that you're really interested in, right? And I've been in remodeling and rehabbing for so long in construction with my dad's company that I'm just done. Like, I mean, building $1 million roofs, for people. Like, I wasn't the actual installer, but I'm selling them, suing the insurance, that kind of stuff. And I'm just over remodeling, rehabbing, and that kind of stuff. But it's a great business model. There's a lot of room for it. We need affordable housing right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but every time I walk into Home Depot, I'm just like ready to just like jump off a bridge. Like, I'm just done.
Not me. I love Home Depot. I got so many Home Depot rewards I need to go claim.
Just that smell. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, oh, man. That's like a recurring nightmare. Yeah.
Damn.
Since I was 12 years old, man. I'll be 40-something on Sunday.
Brack looks like he's got a question on his mind.
I was just curious, what when you go in a deal, any of these, you said, you have an array of land sizes. What's your hopeful timeline for something like your new development that you got?
Oh, that development? Mm-hmm. Man, we're targeting for like soft cost, by the way, on that is about $450,000 for engineering just before I can break ground.
Holy smokes.
So we got that, and then the timeline was 10 to 12 months.
Okay.
So it's fairly quick. It's quicker than I thought it would be.
It's pretty quick. We were aiming for like 7 months because we were going to go in phases. So we were going to go phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the engineer said that would be $30,000 more, but we would break ground like 2 or 3 months earlier. I don't give a shit. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm already laying clay. I'm digging out tanks, all that stuff already anyway. So I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on that one. But
What are you trying to pay off the seller ASAP or let him ride as long as he's willing to?
no, it's a short term loan. I feel like it's like 18 or 24 months or something. We have a balloon.
So enough for your whole project.
Yeah, just enough to get me to the next phase. Also, what we're doing is like we're bringing in different types of lenders. So we're doing like a blended capital strategy, where you can use like either hard money or private money to take it down. And then once you're entitled at the end of 12 months, then you bring in the other guy. So bring in private at that point or hard money, and then refi the deal out, pay off those lenders, and then bring in some fresh lenders and go ahead and start with the development.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you like the monthly debt service?
It could be tremendous unless you pad it in, right? So the way that we've been able to pad it in is, let's say we're buying something, it's $100K down and it's $5,000 a month. Well, let's say the term of the loan is going to be 24 months. We'll just borrow the $100K plus all those payments for 2 years, and then just put that aside. And that way, it's paying for itself based on the initial borrow.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people doing that. Have you explored equity as an option? What like at the end, like equity is so much better, in my opinion. You got your carried interest, so you bring in your investors, you give them 80% of the deal, you take 20, you go do the work, but there's no pressure to do there's no debt service, there's none of that. You set it up to where we're not going to start paying out until 18 months, 2 years, whatever it takes. Whenever we start getting paid, you start getting paid, and you give up a lot more of the deal, but you can do a lot more deals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're doing it now too. We're paying like 20 and keeping 80. We're not doing it the other way around. But yeah, we have a lot of our lenders where they get no payments per month until the deal's closed. Yeah.
So y'all are setting up funds where they bring 100% of the capital, they bring all the money, and your carry is 80%, and they're not batting an eye.
So it's not a fund yet.
Okay.
We paid fund launch. We gave them like $30,000. They have everything's ready. We'll sign it tomorrow if we want. But we had a guy that's a high net worth do like $500 million. He said, don't launch the fund until somebody's ready to throw in like a full 5 or 10 million into it, based on where we're headed. We're trying to do $100 million raise, 25 at a time. So he said, if you launch and then somebody throws in 10 million on day one, he said it'll be easy to raise the other 90. But if you launch and then it takes you 2 years to throw 5 million in there, okay, it reflects poorly on the investment strategy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, he would know better now because he's got $500 million. But why wouldn't he just fund the whole deal?
He's aiming for it. So they're committed to 20 million, and they said they'll put in a second 20 million by the time they place all that. So we're doing it a more syndication style where we're raising per deal as opposed to all at once.
Yeah, that's what we would. I mean, this would be like, I don't know, what's the name of the town? Somerset.
Somerset. It's Poteet, yeah, but Somerset.
Yeah, so Somerset subdivision, whatever you're gonna name it, Fund 1. You need what, 4 million? Gets the whole thing done.
Yeah.
So you would just raise 4 million. You would raise maybe 4.5 million. So what you don't know doesn't get you.
Yeah.
And I mean, give 80% to the investors, 20% carry, or maybe a 70-30. I don't know. On the more lucrative deals, maybe you get with that. When we were fundraising, the carried interest. Did you know what carried interest meant?
Yes, but I didn't understand why it was a concern till the one fella.
We had an attorney friend of ours,
a
corporate attorney. We basically, when we structure our funds going forward, we're going to have language in there that says, if we sell this at a loss, or if we sell it day one, and it doesn't meet our PPM, for lack of a better word. Am I saying this right, Braxton? Clean up this. You're like AI.
So, like, if we sold day one at what the value of the fund is,
like 4 million. So we raised 4 million. So we're selling it for 4 million.
We wouldn't be entitled to our carried interest on that. So if it's a $4.5 million fund or $5 million fund, we don't get to walk with $1 million because, well, that's what we're entitled to if we're selling it at basis. It would be every dollar over $1 million is where
until
we
you
start.
hit that target.
Right.
I like that business model. I think we might start offering that when we do officially launch the fund. I'm thinking something like that, like a pref of like.
I mean, $100 million fund. This is just the way I see it. If we launched a $100 million fund tomorrow, and we have one fella come in and give us $100 million, we definitely have new problems because we don't have $100 million worth of real estate. And even placing $5 million or $4.5 million whenever we did it was fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at a lot of deals to get it, and there's some of those deals that ain't. I don't like them. They're not bangers like we thought they were gonna be. And part of that was because we were concerned about getting the money working, right? Getting it into an asset. And if you got $100 million and you can't put it into an asset, how do you pay returns? You can't. You got to have an asset to go into. So doing it on a deal by deal basis, $100 million, if you're going to spread it over 10 deals, you go get the 10 deals, you break it out into 10 different funds, and you do 10 different funds. It's cleaner. It's easier. It's not cheaper, but like the first thing we do with our legal fees. So what does it cost? About 40 typically?
30 to 40.
30 to 40 in
By
legal
the end of
fees.
it.
Per fund?
Yeah. The first thing we do is, so when we start paying out dividends, we hold back a little to pay back the legal fees, right? Because the legal fees are part of the working capital that we need to.
Yeah, you got to keep the machine alive so everybody's money stays alive. Yeah.
Well, it's just not part of it. We don't underwrite it into. It's like we don't raise part of the money for legal fees, but it pays legal fees. So we take the legal fees out of the revenue that's generated. Franchise tax. The franchise tax. They just changed the law on the franchise tax for LLCs, so you got to do over $5 million. I think, is that right? I don't know.
I think so. Right. I have to reread it.
But the LLC, the fund itself has to pay franchise tax. It's like you get to the end of the year and you pay the franchise tax. We have money to pay the franchise tax, but that should have come out of our expenses, right? So that was part of the expenses.
What were you doing, carrying out of pocket at first?
No. It's just stuff like that you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So you say we buy a deal for $100, we sell it for $200. We take $10 out for the legal fees, right? Because we knew about those, and we pay out $90. Well, we should have held out $5 more for the franchise tax, right? That's all it is. We got to a franchise tax and we're like, oh, so we just pay it out of revenue, right? Because that's what it should get paid out of, because it's part of your expenses, like property tax or insurance or anything else. So, because each individual investor, they get their if they got an LLC and they're getting money, they're probably not going to hit the threshold where they have to pay a franchise tax, but the fund itself still has to pay a franchise tax in Texas. This is all in Texas. So there's stuff like that even the fees we pay to Appfolio, right? So that's a separate entity, right? That's out of our carried interest, but that has to be paid. It's like we get paid this month. Braxton gets his share, Jacob gets his share, everybody gets their share of what that gets paid. But hey, look, we got to pay the Appfolio bill first, right? Because it's what, $800 a month?
I think it's like 900 now because you get two
funds, right? So, anyways, there's things that that happen there that you can't tax the fund. So, even doing 10 of those funds, that's going to come out of future profits. It's not it's not like the legal fees are an expense that you have the money to cover it up front, so you don't have to worry about it. But you can take it out of future revenue and pay it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm aiming for right now, man, because I can clearly see how the books and the numbers can get out of hand quickly. So yeah, that's why we're looking at bringing on like now third party like entities like for bookkeeping and legals and all that stuff, and somebody to say, hey, we're gonna buy this apartment complex down there by Lato. Like, no, you're not. Right, not at least until next April. Right, so I need somebody like that over my shoulder, like just kind of helping us run some books in the background.
Why couldn't you buy it till next April?
Well, I'm just saying, like, let's say it looks like we have a lot of cash on hand, but then we don't, because that's all money that's already allocated for debt service and other things like that.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for, man. I want a high-powered bookkeeper, and then the gentleman that's going to help us run our fund, he's already running a $500 million fund. So he's putting us in contact with a lot of their bookkeepers and stuff that they already have set in place. So we don't have to learn, from scratch. We're just going to kind of just follow his framework, at least for the beginning.
Well, we have an in-house bookkeeper. We pay him $25 an hour.
Yeah.
Bookkeeping, bookkeepers work hand in hand with the CPAs. The CPAs teach the bookkeepers how to book it. the bookkeepers train us how to send it, right? So send me this invoice.
You manage it yourself in-house?
Oh yeah, we've always. I mean, Jacob did the bookkeeping forever, but then we hired Kevin, and Kevin's done our bookkeeping. And Jacob trained him how we do our bookkeeping, and then he works hand in hand with the CPAs. When it comes time, I mean, the only holdup on getting all of our taxes filed is the CPAs. I mean, they, you know, they always have everything, right? But then they, like on our first fund this year, I think they filed an extension, but got it out like a couple of days after. But that's very important in a fund because everybody else, you got to get them their K1 so they can pay their taxes, right? So if you give me money and I pay you money all year and I don't get you a K1 by April 15th, now I'm fucking you. You know what I mean? Because you can't file your tax. You got to file an extension. So
Yep.
it's the most, I mean, bar none, the most important part. But I mean, you don't have to go hire some high-powered bookkeeping. You have to hire a firm, a CPA, and get a bookkeeper in-house.
Leslie brought somebody on recently that's combing through all of our books everywhere.
Yeah, we're probably at the point. The advantage of having a firm for a CPA is anything that comes up, you know, anytime anybody reaches out from the 3-letter word we won't mention, they handle it, right?
Yeah.
So they if you have just a guy on staff that's in-house, you know, accountant, I mean, he can't fight that. You know what I mean? Like, so we got the firm CPA, but the bookkeeper's in-house. So, I mean, that's simple. I mean, how many companies does he do? He does all yours. Mm-hmm. He does all Brandon's.
I think some of Jason's.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's doing 20 companies.
That's
for
amazing.
us in-house, he makes $25 an hour.
What is he, a bookkeeper?
Yeah, he's a bookkeeper.
In-house?
In-house. He works for us.
Oh,
works
man.
for property management.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, they can handle a lot. They are good. They are very, very good. But the CPA is, we use JRBT out of Waco. Mm-hmm. They got a big building that came recommended by our attorney, and they've done a hell of a job. I mean, I think overall we pay about probably $100,000 a year to the CPAs for all the entities. But if you didn't pay them, you'd be paying it in taxes.
Yeah, in mistakes.
In mistakes, yeah. I mean, you know, so I mean, having them do it, you know, they, you know, all of our personals, they, you know, they file an extension for all of those, but they get them done. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. But
Yeah, I think that's where we're at now, man. I realized, like, yeah, this thing's gonna get bigger than I could possibly carry it. So that's why I just want more people involved. And I guess that's the next stage.
Yeah.
Getting those people in place that can kind of juggle all this stuff.
well, there's, I don't know, Braxton, you had the solicitation part of it when we started our fund. We couldn't solicit, right? So we couldn't come on here and be like, hey, if you want to invest with us, you know, jump in the chat, talk to us about it.
Okay.
What's that?
Hive with Us podcast, live.
Ask Anthony about his new truck. What's up with the new truck?
I got me a Roblox truck.
You getting the Cyber truck?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I ordered it for November 2019 is the day I ordered it. And
And
it's
just
coming
not
in
ready.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Dang.
What's it cost?
Like 110-ish.
Oh, so it's about like an F-350.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they're not as bad. Back whenever I heard the price, they were high, and now all trucks are. I mean, you go buy F-150. What is it, 80?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just a regular Tahoe, like a family ass Tahoe, not even a limited edition, like $90,000.
Yeah,
95
it's
grand.
crazy.
Like, that's a $30,000 truck all day.
Yeah.
All day.
yeah, the used Tahoe market's going to be doing good. But the solicitation part of it, Braxton had to sign something at the very end. What was it?
Essentially saying, like, we in good faith didn't market or solicit to, one, people outside of Texas, or two, just kind of openly type thing.
And
I mean, there's a lot of compliance that we have to follow for the particular fund structure we picked. In the future, we might
Yeah.
pick a different one that would let us, but then it's like, well, now we can't do non-accredited has to be accredited or that sort of deal.
Which one did you guys go with?
We did a 504, and so we could do state of Texas residents, sophisticated investors, so they could be non-accredited, but had to be sophisticated.
Okay.
And basically people we already have a working relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't post about it on the internet. You know, if we know you and you know somebody, you could make an introduction. But you know, we couldn't be out there just sending mailers and soliciting. So, you know, and that's when you're running a podcast and you have a channel and everything else. Like the second one, you know, we were very buttoned up about it. One, because we didn't want to lose the deal. We didn't want anybody. We were very like, if we send this to the wrong person, we're gonna have problems.
Get someone else calling the seller type thing. It's like, couldn't risk that.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, we were very guarded with this one, but we didn't. I don't think one piece of content's hit the internet about that 80 unit purchase. I think I posted about it since we've already got the fund closed out, but I don't think we haven't made an official announcement or anything yet, and won't until. Did the check get deposited?
Jane called me, but
Did you text
he was
him?
yeah, he was going.
So we got 200,000 hanging out. Last deposit hits the bank today. I guess the attorneys will file everything after that. The fund will be closed.
Sign paperwork on Friday.
So then we'll be like making content around it a lot, because then we'll be paying our investors. You know, everybody. It'll be no holds barred. We'll be telling everybody you should have got in on this deal. And
Monday we can hit that distribution button.
Yeah.
For all the rents we've been collecting.
Dude, congrats, guys, man. You guys are running, man. It's been amazing to watch.
Well, but from the compliance side of things, it's very, I don't know. Like, we didn't realize when we got into it, because the first one was so easy and came from people, you know, that we already done business with. The second one, people were introducing us to people, and so we were always having to go to the attorney and be like, you know, hey.
Have them vet that person out, that introduction?
Well, we would send it. So we'd send it to a guy. We sent it to a guy here in Dallas. We know he's accredited. We know a lot about him. He's a great guy. Mm-hmm. Well, he sent it to his buddy in Florida. Well, we can't take his buddy in Florida. You know what I mean? Well, his buddy in Florida is reaching out to us about it, and we're like, we got to run it through the attorneys. And then we run it through the attorney, and the attorney says no, and you know, that's it. And then he's like, did y'all solicit to this guy? And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, well, why does he know about it? We're like, well, we sent it to a guy, and he sent it to a guy. He's like, oh, okay, we are good. And we're like, why? And he's like, well, these are crimes that you could have committed by sending it.
They're financial crimes, by the way. It's felonies.
Yeah, so it's like these are crimes you could have committed
so
by
don't blast out your
sending that to somebody. And we're like, but what do you mean by sending it? Like, you know, and so it's like we, at that moment in time, we're like running through our head like, well, who did we send it to? You know what I mean? Like, because it's like it's like we know who we sent it to, but like we don't know who they sent it to, and we don't know.
And we're not asking like, hey, what's your address? Is if we met someone at an event in Houston or San Antonio or whatever, it's like if we're talking to these people we've maybe done deals with before or talked to them about, like, hey, what do you think about this? It's like, well, you know, we're not.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, and then you send it to them, and then they come back and they're like, well, I live in Wyoming. It's like, why did I meet you in San Antonio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I lived in San Antonio at the time, right?
Can they still invest even though they live out of state?
No.
Not
for Texas only.
But not only can they not invest, you can't solicit them. You can't talk to them about it, right?
So for me to even send it to someone that lives out of state, even if we've done business together, could be seriously bad.
It's like the very first phone call. Like, you get them on the phone, it's like, yeah, I met you in San Antonio, but where do you live? You know what I mean? Like, where do you
make
live?
That very clear up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you ever tell them you're calling them about a deal that, you know, they had expressed interest that if we are doing deals in the future, hey, you know, we want to be in on them. So, you know, we didn't know that. We found that out very late in the game, and then we're like, shit, you know, like, so anyways, but luckily we only, you know, we have a very small group of people. I think, how many people are in this deal with us?
34.
So, I mean, we only got 34 people to get $3 million. So, you know, I mean, we were fine, but.
That's including our share too. So really 33 investors.
Yeah. So anyways.
Congrats, guys. That's huge, man.
And so why not a 506c? 506c would eliminate my Aunt Vicky, right? My Aunt Vicky is a sophisticated investor. She's got probably $500,000 worth of assets, but she's not accredited. That's the best way to say that. We don't want to exclude Aunt Vicky from these smaller deals, right? And I'll call them a smaller deal in the nicest way possible. $5 million deal is a small deal. But our next deal will be a 506c. It's going to be a note buying fund. The note buying market's drying up, and we're going to try to go to Wall Street and just get a full $10 million from one person. Like, hey, we want to buy notes. Here's the business plan. This is why we need it.
I need to follow you into that space because I'm going to head there too. So let's talk about that.
Well, to me, there's a soft spot in that market right now.
Big time.
Because there's nobody buying notes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they don't want to buy notes is they don't want to deal with the foreclosures. So these, I don't know, like you got like Class A bonds and you got junk bonds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People view these owner finance note as like junk bonds.
Well, it depends what you wrote, right?
It does depend on what you write. I mean, they view them as junk bonds because it could be the down payment. It could be the credit profile. I mean, how many different questions do you run into on a note buyer?
Ton. Every single one's got different buying parameters. They're like, oh, well, I care about this, but I care about this. But it's like they'll pick apart the RMLO package, and it's like it's on top of the fact that it's like we have the RMLO package. We've gone through all of the things we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We had one back out recently because the credit on the buyer had changed from the time they bought the property.
It sounds like a buyer.
They hadn't been late on payments, hadn't defaulted or anything like that. This was a current note, and it was like, oh, the credit score was this. When was the last time y'all ran credit? It's like, well, fuck.
This is these scarcity mindset note buyers, man.
Well, it's not that. They are building.
Shit. Hang on, guys. 2 seconds.
I'm
on live.
They're building a portfolio of notes to sell to a bigger note buyer.
Yeah.
Right? So they're building. I mean, it's almost like the cattle business. You know what I mean? There's people that buy black cattle. There's people that buy red cattle. There's people that buy white cattle. You can't. I got to just buy black cattle, and that's what they're building their portfolio for, because they go in and they buy these notes at say a 16 yield or 13 yield or whatever. They get $5 or $10 million worth of note. Now they sell them to somebody at an 8 yield, and they make the margin, but it pays them in between, right?
Yeah, getting paid to carry it.
Well, I mean, it pays tremendous
At
to
least
carry it.
Yep.
And then you get paid again, and then you restock your portfolio of notes, and then you sell it to a bigger note buyer. So they're building a portfolio that they can sell to one buyer that is Wall Street, no doubt. And that's why they do it that way. But to me, I'm like, we're better at it. We can originate good notes. We can originate qualified mortgages. We can, get a portfolio of these notes that are performing. Some of them aren't going to perform. We'll deal with them, but we can get a portfolio of them. The ones that don't perform for Wall Street are a nightmare, because now we got to foreclose. We got to do all that. For us, it's a blessing. Why? We have agents on staff. We can,
Go in and resell that deal, do cash for keys, do whatever. Yeah.
Do whatever. So, I mean, it's like we have the ability to manage that asset all the way through, even if it becomes a rental property. The Wall Street doesn't have that. So we'll be the boots on the ground. And since there's nobody else in the space buying any, you can get hella returns. I mean, some of these things you could probably buy at a 20 yield off a paper stack right now. If you had the cash, you could just, go evaluate the asset like you're going to own it as a rental and buy that note. And as long as they perform, everything's good. If they don't, take it back, rent it out, resell it, whatever you want to do. So
yeah, I want to start funding subdivide. So somebody calls us and they say, hey, I got a 10-acre subdivide. I need 50 grand or 100 grand for surveys and culverts and bullshit. And then, so fund the front end cash, and then they'll sell all of it for cash and notes like we do. And then I want to be the note buyer on the back end too.
Okay.
So that way they can just do all the work, and then we just bankroll it. Yeah.
That's a good strategy. But I don't know if you're going to get somebody to do 80% carried interest on that. I was talking to somebody that's very smart, and I mean very smart. One of the smartest guys I know. And he thought money worked the same way. He thought he brings the deal and does all the work. He gets 80% of it, and the people that bring the money get 20. And what's your experience with people that have money?
They understand the value of that money.
They will not. Like that when that carried interest question came up, because we did 20% carried interest, so we have an 80-20 split. So essentially, we paid ourselves $1 million the day we bought that. We got $1 million worth of shares, and we didn't bring any money. We brought the deal. So, Anthony, please pull your mic close. Told you.
Oh man.
So
where's tech support when you need
Just
them?
pull it. Like, pull the...
yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and people, sophisticated investors had a real problem with 20% carried interest. You can do, Grant does some of his 70-30. I mean, depending on the deal. He has the lowest cost of capital on planet Earth. I think he pays like 3% for his capital. It's fucking crazy. But
I've heard that Dale Howe guy, whatever, gets 0% money.
well, that doesn't
Legend
make sense.
has it. I know.
Who would put their money to work for
I feel
0%?
like I've seen it on Facebook. I didn't make that number up. It wasn't a dream. I feel like he posted it somewhere.
He's lying. He's a liar.
Probably.
Who is he?
No, maybe I made that statistic up, so let's not call the guy a liar.
No,
what's
what's his name?
Dave. Last name is like Heil or IEL or some shit like that.
Oh no, Dave Hale, the guy that does self storage.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him post like, "Hey, carrying all this debt at 0%
No,
interest."
no, he's got low interest debt. He's getting SBA loans, so self storage qualifies for SBA. Completely different ball game. As far as like outside capital, I don't think he uses any outside capital. I don't think. I don't believe he does.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dave. Yeah, Dave. Not Dave. He doesn't use any outside capital. So
It's all through banks, USDA. You said.
no, he self storage qualifies for SBA loans.
SBA, really? So each entity is its own business, so you just pull a loan out of it,
Yeah, I mean,
like self-fund it.
they could buy it with a credit union or buy it with whatever. I honestly, preface, I don't really know. I don't know for sure. I know he doesn't use outside capital. I know that. I think he uses a credit union, probably gets it stabilized, and then takes it out with the SBA loan. That's what I think. That's what I opine. I don't know. He's very close to the vest with that. Every other self-storage person I know uses SBA. They use SBA to build them. They use SBA to refinance them. I mean, it's the SBA. It's the government. You know what I mean?
I just call Trump. Be like, can I hold $1 real quick?
What what are Google the interest rates on an SBA loan right now?
I'm curious.
I bet you they're in the fives.
And I
Still,
wonder what
to
the
this
lending
day.
requirements are for them too.
We're about to do one on a RV park.
That's some dirty arbitrage right there. If you can get 5% money on that shit,
It was 2
why
or
not just
3.
build those?
It was 2 or 3.
Really?
What I mean,
I'll just like average SBA loan. Oh, you got it.
Does it just take too long to turn the money, or what?
no, and Dave Hill's crushing it because you can get all your capital back out. So best SBA lenders in
That's
Texas.
why I thought
they're
maybe he
gonna
had a
tell
bunch of dumb money or something. He was just stacking it all in one place.
you. No,
SBA money.
He finds an underperforming asset not because it's beat up or ugly or anything, but because it's just
Just hasn't been
mismanaged.
brought up to rents, and yeah,
It's just mismanaged. They're
Yeah.
just 60% full
Here's
when
some
they need to be
APRs.
80% full. What is it? 7-year variable rates, 8 to 13. Economic injury, does that? Oh yeah, DO, of course. So maybe them SBA loans ain't cracking right now. 10 to 13.
It looks pretty bad. It looks like a hivemind loan right there. 14.75.
But they'll do a high loan to cost. I don't know what they'll take you out. There's no way that's right.
Prime rate's 8.5.
That's
Prime rate's
why.
8.5. Go down. So, but if you go read his posts, he's they've got credit unions I know they use, and then I might have been wrong about the SBA thing. I don't really know, but no, he doesn't use
Just
outside
curious,
capital.
yeah. You got people dropping like that. We saw a podcast of some kid that's doing like luxury hotel fund, and he had one check writer for like 120 or something, 150 or something crazy like that.
I think you believe too much of what's on the internet.
Well, I mean, they're out there putting themselves out there. If they're out there lying, then hey, it's not my
It's
funeral.
like you said
it's,
earlier.
it's not
if
my
it's on the
digital
internet,
funeral.
It's definitely true.
100%.
Have you ever had anybody offer you $120 million?
Not lately.
I I've been doing this a while. I never had anybody come to me and say, "I'll give you 120 million if you can find me a deal." I've never had somebody come to me and say 5 million. We do have a guy in Oklahoma that can stroke a $5 million check anytime we need it. But he wants a deal, you know.
Yeah.
But he understands it. He invests in it all the time. I mean, people that are in that space that have that kind of cash know where they want to go with that cash. Now, everybody else has to be sold, right? You have to go to them, have a plan, have a track record, and show them your integrity. A kid on the internet doing 120 million luxury hotel funds, whoever this kid is. Do you know
He's
his
in
name?
Fun Lunch. I think he did an interview with Bridger. Yeah.
Pull it up. What's his name?
Is Daniel Hivemind watching this? He would know. Possibly.
Daniel Hivemind. Put this kid's name in the comment section. We're about to go creep him. So what luxury is he building a luxury hotel
I
from
don't
scratch?
have no clue what the kid's doing. I just
Does he work for the guy that's doing it?
no. He's putting his own fund together. The kid put his own fund together
And got
specifically
$120
for
million
that.
one check.
One check writer. Yeah.
And it wasn't his aunt.
I don't know. That's to be told right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Hey Thea, I need to borrow a couple dollars.
I don't think
If that is the case, good for him.
great for him, but
What I realized about raising capital, right? What challenges that you can have is people want to know that that you need that amount of money in the first place, right? So you have a bunch of idiots out there going out and raising a $20 million fund or $50 million fund, and then they have nowhere to place it at all, zero, like lose 1% is what they ended up with. And there's a lot of that going on. People raising massive capital and not knowing where to place it. So something that Daniel and myself noticed is that the bigger problem you have, like the more capital you need, then the easier it is to raise it, right? So if this guy has this thing where he wrote that he needs 500 million, well then 100's a lot easier to ask, right? But if you're doing single family flips, 100 grand at a time, you don't really have you don't have any ground to say, hey, I need to borrow $100 million. But
well, you couldn't. I mean, no ground, yes, but you couldn't. Like Zillow fucked it up, right?
yeah.
Zillow didn't have the contractors, didn't have anything. They just thought.
Where'd they think all those Mexicans were going to come from?
What? No, I don't. They
Just
they
buying
could have.
thousands of houses. Like, who's going to fix all this shit?
They could have done it. They could have done it.
Yeah.
All they needed was a guy like me.
More Pedros?
No, they
More
just need a guy
Corys.
like me that
Just
could
run
go
labor?
out. No, that could go not run day labor. I don't have to do any of that. The guys that can actually get out there in the community and find out who's real and who's not real.
Yeah.
Who do we send a wire to that's actually going to show up and do the work?
Yeah, it wouldn't take that
And-
long to
and a
figure
guy
out
like-
who the bad actors are either.
Yeah, well, yes, but I mean, you could have some misses in that. I mean, you're going to know you could have 2 crews in every city and do the volume that fucking that Zillow was trying to do. They just didn't do it. They couldn't, and you underwrite it as a rental from day one.
Yeah.
They could have took all those 7,500 houses they bought and put renters in them, and they'd have been fine.
Just depreciated them down.
Yeah, they just put renters in them and wait.
Debt service and just
Just
chill.
wait. Just wait. Okay, so they're not selling. Just put renters in them and
What
wait.
they do? They sold at a loss ultimately.
I don't exactly know what they did. You know, Zillow makes a lot of money. They have a lot of revenue, so it isn't like, selling anything at a loss is really hurting them that bad.
That's also
'cause-
say maybe they just really needed the write off, and they're like, just buy all these houses and dump them at a loss.
No, I think they saw Open Door. I think they saw other people and
They
realized.
got FOMO.
No, they had the infrastructure. They have the data. It's easy. We put it on our website. People are going to click. We have the traffic. It's easy. We have the money. We can raise the money.
So you think
People
they
will
lost
give us
money
the
or made money?
I don't. Overall, they're probably not losing the amount of money people would think they would lose, but they didn't understand why they were buying it. Right? You're buying it to rent it out. You're not buying it to flip
They
it.
try to be an investor on a spreadsheet instead of being boots on the ground.
Well, they had a bunch of guys that went to college sitting in there going, "This'll work."
Right? We drew all the models out. Like, has anybody ever seen one of these houses in person? Like, no, why would we do that?
No, they had people go look at them.
No, yeah. I know
Did-
they had
did you
like
ever- did you
walkthroughs
ever
with
go through
pictures.
the-
I think an open door one, not a Zillow.
Yeah, they have people
Yeah.
come look at it. They just didn't have. It's like if it doesn't sell, if they did shitty remodels, probably got ripped off on those. They didn't have a plan to rent them out. They didn't understand why you buy real estate. They're Zillow, and they didn't understand real
They didn't have
estate.
the fundamentals.
You rent it out. If a deal don't work out for us, what do?
Put a tenant in it. I
The
get what you're
end.
saying. Is
What
they're
happened-
just seeing discrepancy in this is what we think it's worth versus this is what we can get it at.
Yeah.
One of those executives was up one night, like at 2 a.m, smoking a Fat J. And he's like, I got an idea. And he put it on a spreadsheet.
That right there, that's our gap.
Who's that?
No, I'm just saying, like in the disparity there, and then, but I get what you're saying. It's like having the knowledge to know. It's like, okay, if this doesn't go how we originally
plan B.
planned, no problem.
Right.
Throw it in there and ride with it.
Ride with it. Just wait.
You don't have to force your hand.
No, you don't have to. You don't take a loss on a sale because, you know that. No, just put a tenant in there. Ride it out. I mean, sometimes it sucks to suck, but put a tenant in there. You know, the ones that turn over, put that money back out. Go back to work. Learn from the mistakes you made. They bought 7,500 houses with no plans of having a tenant. That's crazy. That's a stupid plan.
It was going to be 100% flips.
I think that they were just buying them and I think their margin was something crazy, like 7% or something.
Oh my God.
So they're buying them with these crazy low margins. So you have no room for error. But they still could have put a tenant in there and waited for inflation to do its thing.
That was not on their spreadsheet.
Yeah.
He didn't get that high.
But I think overall, I think if you had $100 million and you wanted to go do a house flipping, is this the guy? He don't look young. How old is he?
Who is this?
It's supposedly a guy.
The guy that did
This
it?
is Wolfgram Capital.
Yale Law School.
Yeah. I mean, come on. If he did it, which I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know anything about this
Bro,
guy.
he has 500 connections. Of course he did it.
It's Yale Law School.
He has 3,600 followers. You
On
guy's a
LinkedIn.
baller.
Yeah.
Well, but Yale Law School. If that's real. If that's real, I mean, you're plugged into the oldest money in the country.
Yeah, he didn't have to look that far for it.
No. Yeah.
What's it say? 500 million AUM.
Private equity firm specializing in value-add hospitality investments across luxury and select service assets. Recent all-cash acquisition of the Waldorf, Astoria, and Park City, Utah.
Ask him if I can hold $10 million real quick. I gotta do
Yeah,
something.
we need to reach out. I took a big shit on this guy earlier.
I gotta come up.
Now we need him 10 millions in our note fund.
I'm gonna send him a friend request on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we should do
Send
that.
him a video.
He's
of you
in
talking.
Houston.
Yeah. Is he really?
Wolfgram.
He might be our guy.
We might just go there.
Yeah, we'll just drive down
I'll
there
go
and
with
meet
you to
this
Houston and
fella.
go talk to the guy.
Yeah. Roll
But-
up on him. What's up?
Luxury hotels. Do you follow Ben Malla?
I don't even know.
Go to Ben Malla's YouTube. So Ben Malla, he is. You gotta listen to this fella. This fella's fucking phenomenal. That one's probably not the one. That one might be the one. What's it? That's Ben Malla.
A property that's going up for auction. You know what that means? Highest bidder gets the deal, and you only got 30 days to pay for it. I know this area like the back of my hand. There's all kinds of empty stuff right down the block. It's sitting there empty. I don't know. Can we buy it? Can we fix it? And can we rent it? That's what it's all about. That's what we do. Or at least that's what Ben Jr. is going to do. I'm just going to sit around and say, all right, let's buy it. Ben Jr., handle it.
And then he'll just yell at me every week until it's done.
I bet your money.
Fucking Ben Jr. needs to grow a pair.
All right, so you don't know who Ben Malla is?
The guy looks like he eats Zins for breakfast.
Well, no, he smokes
cigarettes.
He has actual
He's
cigarettes.
super charged up.
So, I mean, Ben Malla is in the hotel space. And, I mean, you can go back to his content 6, 7, 8 months ago. He got, in his words, not my words, he got greedy. And he didn't lock his rates. His rates adjusted on him, and he had to sell.
He got wiped.
He didn't get wiped. No, he ain't wiped. He 1031 out of a duplex in Oakland, California. And he's 1031 to everything ever since into $500 million worth of real estate. Okay. So he doesn't get wiped. There's no wiping this guy. Because the debt, the thing about, and this is like the big, I don't want to say it's a secret of 1031, but this is what the 1031 guys do. They start with a small property and they just keep rolling it over. Well, let's say you buy that duplex and you use $100,000 worth of debt, and it sells for $300,000. Now you got to step up your basis, so you got to buy something worth more than $300,000. So you go buy something for $400,000. Okay, your debt's trailing slower than your assets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you do a step up basis of only $50,000 and you only owed $100,000, you're going to have enough cash, and your debt's only going to come up incrementally. Then you hit a big fucking spike where values go way up, rents go way up, income goes way up on your assets. You can sit there and go, well, hell, I don't owe but 30% of what they're worth.
Yeah.
I can now do a cash out refi and pull all that money out, no tax penalty, and then go buy the next asset. And that's what he's done. He's refinanced and refinanced and refinanced. But he got some hotels, and he said he got greedy. He was trying to save 2% interest, and his rates adjusted, and the deal wasn't working out. And he's like, sometimes you just got to sell them at a loss. Mm-hmm. You got to sell them at a loss and move on. Now, does his loss mean what our loss mean? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Because he's looking at
a little more tremendous. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, he's looking at his interest. Like, your basis is a lot of things, right? So he's still getting money at closing. It's not like he's, not getting money, but he's 1031 and into a different asset. And that's what he's talking about here. He's always talking about placing the money. So he's always trading the reil estate. Do what?
He only does commercial hotels, commercial like that?
He actually got into hotels because his daughter's professor his daughter's professor at college taught her about hotels, and then he went and hired the professor and got into hotels, and hotels really blew him up. But he had to sell his hotel in Fort Lauderdale, and he's like, it was too far away, it was too big of a reach, it was too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just too much for me. I'm just going to ditch this asset and put it into apartments. So he ditched it and put it into apartments. I mean, the guy's a tremendous follow, and if you're anywhere in this space, you need to be following Ben Mala, because I mean, he's us. When I'm 60, I guess I'll be old and fat and yelling,
eating cigarettes,
probably eating cigarettes. But I mean,
that guy's not smoking them. He's like fucking like Doritos.
But I mean, he's a great guy. We did a call with him, and he took our deal that we just did, and we just told him the bare minimum of, you can go watch the video. It's on our YouTube. And what did he do?
He's like, yeah, no, absolutely. That's just his back of the napkin math. He's like, no, that makes sense. That unit price, those rents, it's going to work.
But what else did he do? He nailed the exit.
Yes.
He nailed the exit. Like something that when we were out trying to explain it to our investors, that this isn't going to be a cap rate exit. We're buying it wholesale and we're selling it retail. We're selling it as individual lots. He knew that instantly. He's like, oh man, you can sell those as individuals. Boom. That's a deal. You need to focus on that. We were calling him about getting him out to an event.
He's like, y'all don't really need to be doing events. You need to
just focus on the real estate.
He did what was that movie, Half Baked, where they got that guy sleeping on the couch?
Dude.
It's like, y'all need to focus on the robbery right now.
Dude, he nailed it. But
that's dope.
He's in the hotel space. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing Waldrove Capital just finds a guy like him that wants to sell something because his interest rate blows and buys it all cash. Probably a good trade. That's what Grant Cardone's doing. Grant Cardone's not using debt right now. He's buying office buildings, apartments, and everything. How's
he buying them? With what cash?
He's buying them with cash that he gets from his investors.
Mm-hmm.
So he's raised what? Have you listened to any recent content?
I don't know what he's up to.
Is he running a fund, or does he do syndication per complex?
He does syndication per complex. Mm-hmm. There is no blanket fund.
There's no master fund.
I mean, you can do it if you want, but when you get into the paperwork, you're going to realize how much ass you have hanging out there. And it's not the kind of ass that, like, you get wiped out and then that's it. You come back next week and you do it. It's kind of ass where every one of them motherfuckers sue you. The government comes and sees you.
Going to prison.
Like, it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, like the mistakes are the risk of doing it. Like the 506C, when we do it, we'll be registered with the federal government. So we'll have to report to them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It costs $40,000 to set up the 504. It costs $100,000 to set up the 506. Then you have quarterly reporting and everything you have to do. If you're not in compliance with that, if you don't have a law firm and an accounting firm handling that for you, and it's not to the T. I mean, if you know,
The windbreakers show up.
yeah. Now you're in a now
Yeah.
you're, you know,
Alphabet boys.
well the Tulsa real estate fund, that guy. You know, I mean, all these clowns that went out and did it, they you know, they did it. They for sure did it. No doubt about it. They raised the capital. They bought real estate. They didn't understand renting it out. They still don't get how you can buy. Like, I think that guy's fund was $15 million, and he crowdsourced it. So he took like $100 from you, $1,000 from him.
Damn, was he set up for that?
Yeah, he set it up all properly, but he didn't do with the real estate what he said he was going to do with the real estate inside of his PPM.
What
So-
did he do? Just change directions or just completely different asset class or what?
No, just didn't do what he said he was going to do in here. He wrote down in here he was going to do this, and he did
Something completely
something. Well, not something completely different. It don't have to be completely different. It can be this much different. You see what I mean? And now they're digging through it. They're not happy. You know, he's definitely. I don't know. You know, there's all these allegations on the internet about him. Whatever that is whatever that is. But that's not whatever it is. The government shows up to investigate if that's true or false, and he's just not in a good way right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not a good place to be in.
It's not a good place to be in. And, you know, as far as the allegations go, you know, I mean, in the reporting, I mean, I think it would say what the assets are. I don't know. I don't know enough about the reporting. Do you know anything about it?
Not really. I mean, you have to be specific about what assets and the amounts allocated, but I don't know how far it goes into like class or what type it is
Yeah.
or those sort of specifics.
I mean, you're talking about our documents are 80 pages. When you go 506B, it's 160 pages. It's twice the paperwork. It's twice the disclosures. It's, you know, and then, you know, you just got to be, it's generalized, but it's pretty specific too. You know, it's like you're, you know, we disclosed in all of our paperwork, so we own these companies, and these companies will be doing work for the fund, right? That's in the disclosures. You know, it's like we put the assignment fee that we paid, you know, when we sold it, we had it under contract. We paid an assignment fee to the company that had it under contract. We put the assignment fee in the fund. So it was like on this last one, it was a $300,000 assignment fee. So we put that in the fund. It's disclosed. It's like might even have its own page. Like you might have to read that 5 times so they know.
Very
This-
clear, yeah.
This is
We are
happening
taking an assignment to ourselves on this.
on this. So, I mean, it's like anything that's not in writing, you know, you just don't want to be doing. And so it's
Yeah.
like, these are the companies, these are the plans, this is what we're going to do. This is our track record.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go ask somebody, hey, can I borrow $20 million? Like, yeah, they should know where every penny's going.
not a borrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Equity is not borrowing. They own. Do you
They're
want to
investing,
own
yeah.
$20 million worth of real estate, you know, that's going to pay X number of returns? So you know, it's like the you know, and we don't do, what's it called? The guaranteed interest,
Like return,
preferred.
returns.
We don't do preferred returns.
At all.
No. Preferred return is a guaranteed interest rate that we're going to pay out. It's another word for debt, okay? Because in the wintertime, when real estate slows down, you know, we told everybody, like everybody I talked to, you know, this thing will do phenomenal during the summer, but during the winter, it's going to slow way down. Real estate doesn't sell. All of our rents and owner finance notes will still come in, but the stuff that we're trying to sell is probably not going to sell in the wintertime. And we had some kind of slow months. I think, what's our lowest payout? 37.
It was like low 30s or something.
So, you know, we're below projection for a month, but we have some that are 70 and 80 in the summer. So we'll have one that's hopefully $1 million. That's a big one. I will hang on to that one. No, I'm playing. But I mean, it's like the you just want to be, I don't know, like on the structuring of that, you want to make it deal specific. The guys that are out there, if they're doing these massive funds, but they do funds to buy stocks and all that stuff too. and those are pretty generalized.
Well, I think it also depends. It's like if we were just a shop where we're like financial advisors or something like that, I think that does make it way easier in a sense where it's like you just give me money to invest on your behalf with.
Yeah. So they're got Series 7s and they're brokers. That Wall Street stuff, I don't understand it. Braxton, he's been studying it. He understands it a little bit. But
if we could ever partner with one of those guys or bring them on or something like that or have those licenses, it would definitely open up to like we can solicit just to take your money in general. Like, oh, I got 10 grand that I want to put somewhere. It's like
I need to hold that real quick.
Every guy that we've talked to that has a Series 7 though won't touch it. They won't. Not only will they not invest their clients' money, they won't come on as a partner. So that tells me there's something in their license that says, shit, I'm going to get.
It's like it's too small to do anything, but like if it gets much bigger, then it's like it's just there's a weird.
There's too much risk.
Disparity.
I was going to say there's probably not enough return for the amount of risk that they would take on losing their license and stuff, getting somebody into a bad deal. And like, well, now I lost my ability to make money in this space because I tried to invest into
for
Anthony's,
us to be a product
cut
of
up.
Edward Jones or something. It's like how big do we have to be before it's like
we got to be able to suffer a tremendous loss, right? So if you brought on $100 million and you lost 10% of it, like you might want to give it back out of your own account versus going to prison.
Right.
No, but I mean, that's not how investments work anyways, though. I mean, that's the risk is on the investor. Like losing money in real estate is a phenomenal task.
That's that Binance guy.
Yeah, but the Binance guy was crypto.
Yeah.
He didn't. If he'd have bought real estate, he'd still own the real estate and it'd still pay him every month.
Should have bought some apartments with that money.
Instead
of more dinosaur coins.
Just think about it like this: if you go buy, I mean, there are bad plumbing, bad roofs, bad air conditioners, bad parking lots, bad tenants. There's bad everything, right? But if you buy a run-of-the-mill, you factor in air conditioners, parking lot, roofs, you negotiate that in the purchase price. You replace the roofs, you replace the parking lot, you replace the air conditioners. You have a good CapEx budget for the tenants you lose, and you negotiate it into the discount on the real estate. And you bought it at full retail, even still, but you have the deferred maintenance into it, okay? You do what you say you're going to do. You get $200,000 for air conditioners, and you go buy the $200,000 worth of air conditioners, okay? You have 10-year warranties on the air conditioners. Your parking lot's got a little warranty on it. Your roof's got a little insurance on it. Tell me, if you put good tenants in, which tenants are pretty easy to find, and it pays every month, how can you lose money? You can only lose money by, one, not knowing about those things and not negotiating it into the price, and two, not managing it, ignoring it, letting it fucking fall apart, letting it get beat up, letting it do whatever. I mean, real estate's good. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, you'll find a surprise every once in a while. Once you got experience, it's harder to find a surprise, but you'll find a surprise every once in a while, a water line that you didn't know you were going to have to upgrade, stuff like that. But if you own it for a long time, it's hard to lose money. How do you own it for a long time? You get tenants. You get somebody to pay you every month. You can own it forever that way. I mean, Dave Ramsey owned $600 million worth of real estate, all cash.
Yeah, all paid off.
All cash.
That's crazy.
Like $600 million, all cash. You think he's going to lose any of that anytime soon?
Probably not.
Do you think if they came out and appraised it and said it's only worth $400 million, his rent goes down? Nothing happened. He gets paid every month. If he's got investors, they get paid every month. It's like, nah, man.
Beautiful world. I think that's all he did. He positioned himself in front of as a financial services expert. So he just made the whole world show up to just lend the money or just invest in his deals.
Not lend. It's not a loan.
Invest in his deals.
They are owners. Yeah. They have equity. They own it. They get depreciation. Like lending, you can get so far creating lenders. You want to create partners. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be, can you retire on $8 million?
Probably.
Can you?
Yeah.
So you're going to hit one lick and call it a day and live till you're 65 on the $8 million.
Depends if you're eating ramen noodles or not. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it's just easier to make 2 million 10 times that year, because once you do well by the people that brought the money, the 4 million the first time, once you do good by them, they tell their friends, and now you're sitting on $200 million worth of capital. You know what I mean? That's easily placed. You didn't do it. You didn't have to force it. You bought good apartments. You bought good single-family homes. You bought good mobile home parks. You bought good self-storage. I'm intrigued by retail because I'm watching Ben Mala. So I'm like, the warehouse space that Logan Bentley Fulmer's in, I'm like, I see a lot of vacant warehouses and they stay vacant a long time. It's not like a tenant comes around a lot. But if I understood more about it, I'd probably be intrigued by it. But all of that is, you put it in there, and they pay you every month. You deal with the bullshit that comes up. You get paid to deal with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, when you got to go replace a sewer line, you go replace a sewer line, but you get paid to replace a sewer line. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like you're out there working for free, and you make everybody happy because they're making 10, 20, 30%, and then inflation does its thing. You sell the asset, everybody gets paid on the backside, and they're like, hey, where's the next one? We doing another one? You know what I mean? I want to keep doing this.
Yeah, so we're getting that. We're getting a lot of repeat lenders or investors where they say, they go into a deal with us and then they love it and then they come back for round 2.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, shit, I can afford to sell this at just over break even, put a little something in my pocket because I already know what's going to happen. As soon as we close this out, they're going to send me the money right back anyway.
Right.
I'll just roll it into a better deal. So you can kind of jump in and out of assets as needed.
Just I watch Ben because Ben trades assets all the time. He's got hotels, he's got apartments.
He does the exchanger thing or what?
He does a 1031 exchange.
Okay.
But he does value add real estate. So he goes in, finds the problems, good at negotiating them. But all these guys have to deal with brokers like Grant, Ben. They're all big enough. They're not. Ben looks at some off market deals, but they're like pocket listings from brokers. They're not.
I like working with brokers and realtors, man. People make fun of them. I really like working with them. I have a commercial entitlement deal I'm doing right now in Converse, 15 acres, and I got a broker on that one. Doing a phenomenal job.
So you bought it through a broker?
No. He's actually doing the back end stuff, like the Pam Goodwin model of like going out and finding like single tenant and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's working on that side.
But I'm saying they buy everything through a broker.
Oh, okay. They just send out offers.
We sell everything through an agent too. Now I'm talking about they shop.
I like listing stuff like that. Let the agent work and make their money too. It's worth every penny, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm talking about they shop on. They don't. They're not in the off market space. They're shopping with a broker, looking at deals. So their negotiation is a little harder because there's more buyers in them. You know what I mean? It's like they.
In that big commercial space.
And any large real estate transaction, there's always a broker.
In land, there's less of that, like less activity, less available buyers.
This is true. Yeah. But this is, land. The guy last night, the $800 million guy. How did they buy off market? How'd they come across that deal up there? They want to do mobile homes with us. Did he tell you?
I don't know. I don't think he did.
So they buy pocket listings and they buy off market. But they only get
off market.
No. They buy the apartment deal that they gave us is a listed apartment deal.
Yeah, I like buying on market. It's great.
Yeah, the big deals. Like we stole that deal during COVID for $600,000 for 20 units. But I had never done one much, which I guess 40. Bought 40 unit apartment complex, a 16 unit and a 25 unit. So what is that? 41 units for $800,000. Bought that off market, and that was actually a wholesaler in Dallas that sent it to us.
Where's that complex at?
It's in Comanche, Texas.
You're holding on to that thing?
Well, kind of, but no, we still manage it. But we bought it, stabilized it, and then one of our partners bought us out, and so. We bought it, stabilized it, and he had a 1031 exchange, and so he bought us out. And same thing. He started out with a fourplex in Bryan, and he had apartments in Albuquerque, and then he sold those apartments in Albuquerque and 1031 into that and 2 other deals.
All I've ever done is land, man. I've never done any multifamily or any RV parks or anything like that.
Yeah,
just know that's what I'm good at. It's what I understand. Yeah. And I don't have to be the know-it-all guru guy that just does every kind of deal you could think of.
But land, land is good, right? So what did you make last year? What did you pay taxes on?
I'm still doing it right now, actually. Yeah,
What do
I
you-
got a
what
little
do you-
bit of
what-
a mess. I think in 2022, I made $1 million in land, and then we made $1 million in CRM. So last year was probably very similar, maybe a little less.
Right. So $2 million is what you paid taxes on.
Call it 1.5. Yeah,
Yeah. How much depreciation did the land give you?
nothing.
Okay. So you're playing the game.
Yeah,
You know, you're playing the game. You're in real estate. You're a real estate professional, and you got nothing to offset that income.
I got that big office that we had, that 5,000 square foot office.
So you got-
the commercial dealership. There's 3 buildings on there.
So you got
So I got some depreciation.
you got
stuff,
some
yeah.
depreciation. Braxton, how much did you pay taxes on?
Last year, not done yet, but it's gonna be probably 60 or something. Be my tax liability. But there's probably well over 100 in depreciation.
Do you see? That's he gets to take 100 in paper losses.
Pay my 10 grand or less in taxes for what should have been 30 or 40 grand.
Yeah, I'm gonna write off my truck, my cyber truck. That's business.
Yeah, all that. But
Yeah,
but
little stuff like that. And then I put in over $1 million in cash by February. So
Right.
if I got to pay
But
300
but
or
then you-
400 in taxes, like
yes,
still a slick move to do.
but you can
yeah.
you can do that with apartments. You can buy one apartment complex, get the depreciation. You know what I mean,
yeah.
and offset all that income because you're
Can't we do that
still
with
in
the
real
mobile
estate.
homes, the ones you guys are throwing in.
Yeah,
Can't-
there's
can't-
7-year
right.
depreciation schedule.
So we want to do those in
So-
Tyler. We want to do those
Those all
in,
be
in
personal property.
Floresville.
Those will all be personal
Yeah.
property. So
That's
you-
on
that's a
seven-
7-year
same as your
depreciation
truck.
schedule. Same
Yeah.
as a truck.
Same thing on that 180 lots. You know, if we sell some for cash, some seller finance, some would just probably drag in some mobiles.
But if you're not
So,
renting any of them,
yeah.
you don't get any depreciation. Like I'm telling you, like you when you get this big dollar CPA, he's going to tell you all this money you're making. You're making millions of dollars. Just said I paid taxes on $2 million. I paid $700,000 worth of taxes. He's going to tell you
Get some depreciation shit.
buy some
Yeah.
fucking assets that pay you every month, and get the depreciation, and quit paying all these fucking taxes.
We're heading for a build to rent model. Is what we're after, where we can throw the houses in and just keep
But
them. Yeah.
you're gonna do that for 2 years, 18 months, whatever, and there's gonna be something that's below replacement cost sitting right next to it that you could have bought. And all you had to do was buy it. But you're tired of going to Home Depot.
Sick of Home Depot, man.
I mean, you gotta.
we got enough people
like-
on our team that we could start doing acquisitions.
Look,
so
hey,
we look at
check,
stuff.
check
like
this
that.
out. Check this
Yeah.
out. So
Oh, I got the mobile home we're doing. I got another
hold
one
on,
we're
but
buying. So we got some depreciation.
check
Yeah.
this out. Check this out. This will blow your mind. Jacobs, a licensed real estate agent, has a property management company, has all these deals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what he made in 2022? Negative $400,000.
Damn, it's a good year.
Right. Do you know what that means for him?
No tax burden for a little while.
He now has to make $400,000 to pay taxes.
To get back to zero, yeah.
He gets to carry that forward as long as he wants. Now, how many years can he carry a negative $400,000?
Is he going to use the same tax guy next year?
Dude, it's the depreciation.
Yeah.
It's like the depreciation that's hitting his K1 is wiping out his agent income, his property management income. It's wiping out every bit of income. Every single bit of income he makes gets wiped out. And he gets to carry the loss forward to the next year. So this year, if he loses another $400,000 on the next year, he's got to make $800,000.
Start stacking it.
Like you're playing in the real estate realm,
Yeah.
but you're like Trump paid what $750.
Yeah, we're accumulating over time and distance. We're starting to accumulate depreciable assets. Like I said,
Yeah,
we're looking to throw some up too. So
Get
we're
the-
moving into the space.
The mobile
Yeah,
homes will
we
do you
just-
some good.
Mobile homes will do you good.
We just got really good at land, man. Like I said, I made in January what we made in 2022, and so now, yeah, let's get some assets where we can write that shit
gotta
off.
take-
Yeah.
you could take that money day one and park it into a mobile home, and you got to set aside your money for your taxes and do
We're
all
looking
that.
at it like we bought 5 acres in Aransas that had a bunch of meter poles on it, and we're looking at another RV park down there. So we got our eyes
RV parks
open
don't have depreciation.
at all.
You can depreciate the infrastructure, I guess.
Septics,
The
your
septics,
poles,
roads,
your
poles,
Fences, lights. I mean,
Fences, lights.
You could do a laundry room or something.
But it's not going to be a lot. I mean, but a mobile home on there for 110,000. Now you got that divided by 7. I mean, it's pretty much going to take out all of its rental income.
I need you guys to start putting some mobile homes out for us.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we got some investors that want to play.
You got to. I mean, I feel bad now. I'm bitching at Anthony. I don't want to bitch at Anthony.
No, we're good. We're heading in the right direction, man. One of our investors does want to throw some houses on and just leave them there and rent them out. He wants a depreciation.
That's
his mindset. So
well, that's what every investor we got wants.
Yeah.
Like
I think that guy's good for like 500,000.
How did the fund do? How much of the fund was offset by depreciation? Do you know?
I don't know the total number.
Yeah, it was very good. So we sent all those people not a negative K1, but a very low K1. We sent them a bunch of money, and then we sent them a K1 that said they made way less because of depreciation.
That's right. Some of that off. It's nice, man. That's the game. I think knowing how to play that game gives you permission to ask for some nice sums of money.
It does.
If somebody doesn't want to play, they don't want to play. We had a guy that was going to throw us 500,000, and we turned it down. I just didn't like his vibe.
Who was he?
I don't even know the guy's name. Daniel probably knows his name.
Damn. Braxton, you like his vibe?
We had like 2 meetings. He had 500 bands ready to go, and I just told Daniel, I'm not feeling this dude at all. I'm not going to take the money. I want to be cool with the people that invest with us.
Next time, get him to wire it, and then wire it back.
Ooh, that'd be even more tremendous.
Yeah, well, that way you know he's got it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the vibe can be he's lying. Like, he don't got 500,000.
That could very well be true.
Yeah, but you want to know for sure. You're like, once he wires it, and you're like, you know what? I don't like this guy. I thought he was lying about this money the whole time. Send it back.
If anything changes down the road, though, he knows that it's like, I gave it to him. He gave it right back.
Yeah, I think we just got to have that good energy with the people that are going to throw money into our stuff, because it's going to be a long relationship. And we've had the opposite. We're like, hey, why is the deal taking so long? Why is the deal taking so long? Like, man, it's going to sell when it sells. Like,
we had a deal in this last fund. Real nice guy. Real nice guy. Don't have anything negative to say about him. But as soon as we put debt on the property, he's like, that wasn't the deal. But in our PPM, it said we have the right to put debt on it if we want to. So that wasn't the deal. I want my money back. And our attorney was like, you don't have to send it back. He's like, you know, don't worry about this guy. Just tell him to fuck off. And we're like, no, not at all. Send it back. Send it back.
I'd rather not have the complaint.
Send it back right now.
I got one of those. She got a little antsy, and she just said, I just want to get my money back out of the deal. And I just send it right back to her. Like, there you go. I don't want this problem or this headache.
Yeah. Now, update on commerce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, check this out.
We got a continuance, but a short one?
Not a short one. A short one in attorney language.
How long has this been going on now? 2 years?
I don't know. This deal.
It's pathetic, dude.
This deal's fucking commerce property. But I still haven't been able to find this lady. I've Googled her name. I Googled her name yesterday.
Have we been served with anything from any court on our side?
No. So what happened is, okay, so commerce deal is a deal we bought with Anthony. There it is. So he bought it. We bought it. He had 6 months to sell it. Got it sold twice. Sold it twice. Title would never close.
Yep.
So
it's a weird one.
We owned it. We told him he had 6 months to sell it. If he didn't get it sold in 6 months, it was our deal.
Corey's like, I'm gonna build a lake there.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna keep it forever. So anyways, title would never close it. We never could get a straight answer. We had all these different title companies. And the original title company that he bought it through was going to close it, and then they even refused to close it. 6 months expires, and at least that title company told us there's a federal government list pending as a criminal asset forfeiture.
After this thing had already closed through title, they said we were good, clear title, insurable title, and then this is when we were selling it. Now this pops up. So criminal asset forfeiture, federal government list pendants. So this lady has a federal case against her. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 co-defendants on this. They're involved in this case?
It's the United States of America versus 29 people right here.
Holy
and this is what they said. Motion for continuance filed by defendants. So they had until May 17th to plea out. Now, here's the deal. We have title insurance. So what does that mean? So title insurance has essentially we have debt, we have the purchase price, we have title insurance up to that amount. So the lender's policy would trump that because $125,000 worth of debt, whatever. So there's that. But because we sold it twice and had 2 different contracts on it, now we get to say that we have real losses, right? It would be real hard if you hadn't sold it, if there was no sale, if there was nobody that tried to buy it.
Nobody was interested at that price.
If nobody was interested at that price, it would be hard to go to the title company and say, the deal. So he wanted the lion's share of the equity. That's
the
why.
guy with the 500. Yeah,
Yes.
he just wanted too much out of the deal.
So, anyways, if we didn't have those 2 contracts, we wouldn't have any real losses. But now we can show real losses. We can show we had it sold for this, cash, gonna close. This is a real loss. So now we get to invoke the title company's E&O policy. That's air and omission. Air and omissions. So the air and omissions policy. So essentially, we initiated a title claim. We initiated a claim on the E&O policy, and the title company they agreed. They said, "Yep, that's fine. We understand." But that list pendants is only a list pendants. They have not seized the land yet. So we're like, what does that mean? Like, well, until they seize the land, there's not a title claim. Like, okay.
Oh, wow.
So now, we tried to go before the judge that has a criminal case and get him to rule on it. But until she's guilty or innocent, they don't have a right to seize the land. If she's innocent, list pendants goes away.
Wow.
If she's guilty, then they have a right to seize the land. And then, so once she's found innocent or guilty, if she's found guilty, then we get to petition the court and say, hey,
that list pendants was frivolous.
yeah, like we want that list pendant lifted. And they get to say yes or no. If they say no, then the E&O and title policy pay. If they say, okay, we'll lift it, then we own the land and can have marketable title.
What a great piece of property and great area too. If you can get clear title on that one, holy smokes, what a great piece of property.
Well, it is a great piece of property, but I still can't figure out what the charges against this lady are. It doesn't say in here.
I have an idea of what I've just hearsay, but
what is it? No, you don't. Do you really know?
I got hearsay.
There's 30 people on here. So how could they all 30 have? Because you said it was like an attempted murder or something, or a murder.
I think an attorney got killed.
How did 30 people kill one attorney?
That's why they're all getting probably the same charges. Like it was apparently, and again, this is all hearsay. I'm not making all this up just for entertainment purposes, but I think it was like I heard like maybe cartels or something, some kind of like group of people.
There's some white people names in here, like Mark. Who's Mark?
Hardcore killer.
Brian Lee.
That's my dad's name.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Call your dad or don't. Hey, Dad, what were you doing right about March 7th?
There's 2 Marks. Anyways,
I don't know, man.
There's a sharing.
It's a long, weird story. That's for damn sure.
What? I mean, a little bit about it. Anything?
So, I don't know. Again, like I said, supposedly that they kidnapped some attorney, and I don't know what they had on them. Ended up killing the dude, and so everybody went down for it.
Huh. Well,
apparently.
There's 60 people on this deal here, because I thought it was given names, but then the very first one was 1. And I was like, well, they don't have a 1-year-old tied up in this deal. You know what I mean? So, anyways.
How do you know? Might be a ferocious little bastard.
Well, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that tells me it's going, and then it goes to 10, 15. So several of these people have already plead out. Ours is not one of them. But they had to put in their plea by May 17th. They filed this continuance, and they got it until October. So 5 months.
And a lot of them haven't filed at all anything.
Well, they got a plea. They got a plea, or they go to trial October 4th. So they got until October. No, not October. October 4th is whenever they have to go to trial. They got a continuance until. When was it? finds the defendants of knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily. Government has no objections to a continuance.
Yeah, apparently it was pretty bad. That's why the federal government got involved.
Jeez. To ask my dad about it.
It only says
Now we
October
got to sit
4th.
down face to face.
What are you doing on March 10th?
Hold on. I know I saw a different date in here. August 30th. Deadline for pretrial motions. Responses to motions are due in accordance. September 13th. Notification of plea agreement or motion to continuance shall be filed with the court by this date. After deadline, defendant may not receive points reduction for acceptance of responsibility. So they gotta go before the federal government and say I accept responsibility for what I did, and then they get a reduced sentence or whatever. I don't know.
That's a tough one, man.
But they convict at like a 97% rate.
Jeez.
So you would think I would want
You're gonna go
leniency.
just take your.
Well, you can imagine all the due diligence that went into bringing up those charges. Like, they didn't just, like, make it up in an afternoon.
And then they're giving them more time. Like the defendants asked for a continuance. The government has all these resources. They have more time to build their case. But
That's all it is. You have to extend 6 months. You're like, oh, good, because we're still waiting to hear back from what's her name.
well, and allegedly she's not in jail.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what our
Well, that's
attorney
what we
said.
had to buy it through with the power of attorney. That's what the daughter did. Supposedly she went to the jail and got it signed. Maybe she forged it.
What?
Yeah. The daughter bought it through with the
Delete
power
that.
of attorney.
So I wonder if this is federal government. Is this like the FBI rolled up and they've charged 29 people now arrested? And
60.
Sounds like it. Yeah. So that's a pretty big deal.
60.
Dang.
But no, she couldn't afford anything.
It wasn't an
in
argument
jail.
over a property line.
Do what?
It wasn't something as simple as an argument over a property line,
But
a boundary line.
But how can they seize property if the property wasn't involved in the case?
Apparently, what I understood or heard again is that they just put a lien against all of her assets, just blanketed everything. I guess because they don't know where. Maybe there's some dirty money. I have no clue.
It would a murder doesn't equal dirty money.
Buried that
Well,
body
who knows?
out
Who
there.
knows all what they were all involved in? You know. So somebody usually that happens when they freeze your assets. Is like there was some kind of like illegal money involved, like maybe selling drugs, something like that.
Well, we're a good faith purchaser.
I feel like that'd make more sense.
We
with
still haven't even been to the
29.
property.
Really?
No, I'm like, fuck. No, I ain't. It's like,
So it's a good little drive.
well, I just don't like if we got to go testify or do something. Like now, you done told me all this shit that I didn't know. Now I'm sad. I have to testify that. Well, Anthony told me on a podcast.
I heard. I heard.
There was a power of attorney involved.
Yeah.
Somebody was in jail, but if she was in jail then, who got the money? We need to go back to title and see.
I think the daughter did. The daughter that I did the deal with, she called us off of a Google ad. We started talking to her. So I guess I don't know if she deposited into an account in her mom's name. I have no clue how she got the money, like how that ended up going down. But
Cashier's check. Took
the reason
it to
she
a check
used that
cash in
same
place.
she used that same title company because she said, "Oh, my mom has sold a different property through the same title company." So I'm like, "Okay, cool. They're ready."
Well,
to
that's
insure it.
that's the one thing that they said. That's the one thing that title company said. They're like, "Oh, we've been expecting you to call," because it happened on the other property too.
Oh, really? On the other one
Yeah.
too? Well, she left that part out conveniently.
Well, no, it hadn't. It had when she sold it. I don't think it had happened yet, because this was months later, right? So I think they sold them all at the same time.
I thought she had already done it before, and then she sold us this one.
No, they. I don't think title knew. If they knew about the list pendants on the other one, they would not have closed this one.
I don't think it popped up, or they missed it somehow.
Every title
in
company missed
underwriting.
it. Kane Title missed it.
Wow.
Kane Title missed it and was going to close it, and that's how we ended up finding out. Kane Title was everything was set to close. The buyer knew about the list pendants through the other title company, and asked when it was closing time, asked what about the list pendants, and they're like, we didn't see one, and they're like, well, will you check before I close? And they went and checked, and they're like, oh yeah, there is one. So.
That sucked, man. That was too bad too. That guy was ready to go, and then he did a price drop on us. He wanted 100,000 reduction.
And was still going to close
And
allegedly.
he said he'll take it with Liz pendants, and then I guess he
backed out.
thought about it, and his wife was like, "You better not buy that damn thing."
Well, I mean, I think he would have a better chance of getting it dropped than we would.
Why?
because he's 2 buyers away.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like the government. I mean, the government's asshole, so you don't never know. But it's like, I mean, our attorney said that the argument is that they got the money. You got the money. You can go after the money. This property wasn't involved in the crime. That's what he said. I don't know. We're not gonna go. I'm not gonna go look around. But maybe you got. I mean, we're gonna be back in the deer season.
Might be about time to go look around.
Yeah, we're gonna get a deer license. So we've already missed 2 deer seasons out there. So we got an expensive deer lease right now.
Yeah, I would at least just take advantage of it while it's there.
Yeah, and then we tried to get the cattle. I was having a conversation about somebody about the cattle. I was like, I don't know. Allegedly, there's cattle out there. And then I was like, they're like, well, you can't do anything with them. They're stolen. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you need the owner and this and that. And I was like, okay, well, then we won't do anything with them. He goes, well, then you're going to get charged because you're, leaving them to die or whatever. And I was like, well, it sounds like I'm fucked. You know what I mean?
Golly.
So it's like,
Best case really is never go out.
yeah,
there
I'm
and
like,
never actually see
they're
if
like,
there
well,
is.
have you been to the cattle? I'm like, I haven't seen any cattle. I heard there was cattle. I was asking you if you wanted to go investigate this and do something with these cattle, and you just told me that everything I could do with these cattle might be a crime. So I'm not going to do anything.
So I
I'm
want
not
to
even.
confirm that they're there.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go
Never
look.
seen one.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about these cattle no more. I figured if you wanted to do something with these cattle, you could. But since you're giving me all this bullshit, I don't care. Like it's like I'm not curious enough to go find out. So, anyways,
Interesting world we live in.
it will be
man.
funny when we get there though, and there's just a fucking herd. Like they just been out there fucking and breeding. And they're fucking wild as shit. It's like a safari, They fucking attack you. They're attack cattle.
We can make one of those like drive-through deals then. Just like we've
Yeah,
got
like-
some
like-
wild cattle out here.
And then we'll have to call the cops because we'll be like, nah, we don't know whose cattle those are. But the ones that were born won't be ear tagged or branded. So, I mean, they don't have serial numbers. So, but yeah, we'd get the sheriff's
got
department out there to
stakes.
get them. We're like, we need these cattle off. We don't know who they are. They're not ours. Could have been the previous owners.
Let the sheriff deal with them.
Yeah, but I doubt. I mean, cattle are pretty tough though. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Has been a while.
Could have busted in a fence by then.
I think the neighbor would have done something. Who knows? I haven't seen them. Never been there.
Yeah, the neighbor was after it too, man. The neighbor wanted a big chunk of it.
Did he?
The guy to the east, directly east, touches the property. Yeah.
What do you want?
Like half the property.
Oh, he wanted the half that wasn't in a flood zone.
Oh, he said he didn't care. He just wanted to expand his land.
Damn. Wow. He might have already. We might go over there and he might be squatting on it.
Yeah, he already has it looking real good.
He might be 2 years into his claim.
Well, the good thing is, I guess we still got the ag exemption. The taxes are cheap. So, anyways. But, yeah, we'll wrap up. Anthony, where can the people find you?
Check out hivemindCRM on all platforms. TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. You'll find me or Daniel. You can Google Anthony Gaona, Daniel Martinez, Hivemind. That
Sound
kind of
out.
stuff. Oh, we got the live event coming up, guys. It's July 27th or 6th.
Why are you looking at me?
Go to hivemindCRM. Find it's July 26th or 27th. It's in Corpus, so we're probably gonna do like a VIP day the day after the event. So it's only a 1 day. It's always been 2 years every single time. Thank you, Corey and Braxton. You guys have shown the support to us from Dallas to Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio. So this year in Corpus, appreciate it if you guys can make it on down.
1 day.
But yeah, it's a 1 day event this year, and then the second day is probably gonna be VIP speakers,
Our
boat stuff,
our internet's
boats and
broken.
hose like you did the last time.
Dude. What, hold on. Go back. Where's
Just
it?
hivemindCRM.
He had it brought up, but the internet wasn't interneting.
Should just be front page.
Yeah, watch.
There should be a
I don't know what's going on with the IO sites with our computer.
maybe if you put a / event or something. Hivemind event 2024.
Not found.
I don't. Where's Daniel when you need him?
He's in my phone as Daniel Hivemind.
Eventbrite, there it is.
That's his actual real name.
Never mind. That ain't it. That's gay. Is that the event? He ain't even got a pin to the top of the group.
Is
You need to
it?
get on to Daniel. Be like, pin that thing to the top of the group.
Daniel, where you at, man?
He's probably in the chat.
There would
Like,
be no hive mind without Daniel. I'm not doing all this computer stuff.
Event. Top tab. Middle.
there it
There
is.
it goes. How the hell did you see that, Eagle Eyes?
Eagle eye. He's only got a good left
Got
eye.
one good eye?
20 in my left eye.
And the other one can't see
They
shit?
don't, and 20 nothing.
What'd you do? Like this? Like this?
Yeah, just really focus with my left.
I know those guys.
July 27th.
July 27th,
You were right.
9 a.m.
He said 26.
I said or 27th in my defense. I was half wrong.
You'll
It's
be
at-
there the
it's-
26th, so you're right.
It's Emerald Beach Hotel in Corpus Christi on, I think Spawn Road or something, whatever, Spawn something or other. But yeah, 1-day event. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna hang out afterwards. Mixer. There's like a little tiki bar right outside of the event space. Rooms overlooking the ocean, so it should give you those vibes from the last event.
Braxton's got jet skis. You gonna bring the jet skis?
Yep, go rip down there.
Yeah, we'll do something ridiculous. It'll be
You
fun.
gonna launch your jet skis
That'd
off
be
the
fun.
beach?
I'm gonna do something the day before for the people that show up early, even if it's just dinner. So if you guys can get in the day before and stay the day after, it's gonna be cool stuff happening.
I'm bringing cocaine and Zens.
What the heck?
And I'll bring some jet skis.
I'm lying.
I'll bring the salad.
I'm not bringing the cocaine.
You don't want none of this shit, do we?
It's like the only reason I say that is because my Zen looks like cocaine on the top of this awesome deal.
Did you tell everybody? Did you tell the nice folks about that energy drink you have?
Which one?
What you have in there?
Oh, I cut a Zen open and dropped it into this liquid death and then didn't drink it. It tasted fine. I just forgot to drink it.
Made you forget to eat?
No, I had a big burrito for lunch. I'm not doing well. I need a nap. I thought Nick was still in here shooting content, so I went to sleep on the couch.
And he
So
was
while
gone?
you were in here waiting, I thought he was in here. I was like, they're gonna get me. And then
I
I
should have
heard.
took a nap too, man.
So, anyways, I appreciate you coming up. Where? I forgot.
He already plugged himself.
No. You're out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
Where all do you buy land?
Anywhere in Texas
With water.
with water and access to electric, right?
Okay.
Hopefully, septic's fine. I prefer to be by a big city with like 1 million people and
Okay.
above. But if it's a Tyler, one of those guys, Waco, Temple, we'll still consider that an anchor city. But I like to stay by the big five, like Austin,
Okay.
Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, especially. That's my area. But
Okay.
yeah, as long as there's people there that would buy, I don't want some desert squares out in the middle of nowhere on the way to El Paso. No offense to El Paso, but I've never done any deals there.
Dude, that's old school. They did amazing. I don't know what they paid, $1.50 or whatever they paid for that out there, and then chopped it up and sold it to people from New York. Have you ever looked at that on Landglide?
Mm-mm.
You've never looked at it?
What is it?
Can you go to? Is Landglide free?
No. But it is on
Damn.
the desktop. I can log in, but I don't know how
Yeah.
to log in.
Oh no, dude. Go to Van Horn, Texas, and go a little bit up and to the left of Van Horn. There's no roads.
Just chopped up desert squares.
There's not a road. There's not an easement. There's nothing but tiny squares. Now, they might not be tiny. They might be 10 acres. They might be
5 or
20
10 or
acres.
20
They
acre
might be
tracts, yeah.
100 acres. But you click on them, and it's Nevada, New York, Hawaii, fucking this and that.
Oh, my God.
And so forever ago, I don't know if there was a tax benefit. I don't know if there was a gold rush. I don't know, but I remember the billboards. Own a ranch in Texas. Own your own ranch in Texas. Own your own ranch in Texas.
I think I've seen those driving out to
and
El
it's like
Paso.
$20 down, $200 down, $300 down, and you can own a ranch in Texas. And they owner financed all that fucking junk to people that wanted to say, I own a
I
ranch in
got land in
Texas.
Texas. There's a lot of gurus that teach that desert flipping square crap. I'm just not
Do you
interested.
see it?
It is all.
Well, that's one guy that owns that. Find a different person. That's Culberson Ranch.
What
Hold on.
size tracks are they?
This one is
Those look bigger.
doesn't even say. Van Horn up and to the left. up and to the left. No, those are all sections. You'll know when you get to one.
I
Yeah.
hate that you can't see further out. Like, it's zoom in so much.
What I'll do is I'll take the county of the major city, right? Like, let's say Fort Worth and Dallas or whatever. Just crop out the whole entire county that the city exists in, and then I'll just hit all the counties that surround it.
Oh, okay.
That's my target. Yeah, like a donut around every major city. So like Bear County, like San Antonio, I won't even look inside of Bear County. I'll just
Blanco,
all outskirts.
Atascosa.
Yeah, everything. Medina, just everything around it. Nothing in the
Okay.
city. And if there's a deal in the city, whatever. But I'm not looking. That's what somebody was telling me. I got 14 acres for $3 million.
Holy.
Like, no. You see
So they
this?
took these
Yeah, look at
sections.
this.
So they took the sections.
Oh no.
So they take an entire section, and then it's like
Are
Sandy
we still
Gary,
on, y'all?
huh?
Uh,
Yeah,
we're
we're
still
st-
on.
yeah
Okay,
we're still
okay.
going. So this guy lives in Arizona,
38 acres.
38 acres.
Oh my
This guy lives in
I wonder what he paid for, like $1,200.
Louisiana.
$300.
This guy lives in Canada.
Canada. That's terrible.
Ain't that fucking crazy? And I mean, there ain't an easement, there ain't a road,
No thanks,
there's
man.
nothing.
You want to talk about writing some junk paper?
Junk paper, but I mean the
Minnesota.
that's Minnesota.
Diversification.
Dude, if you like, there's some idiot out there that's sitting in Minnesota right now that's like, yeah, I got 30 acres in Texas. Got a little
Yeah.
ranch down there.
I got a
We hadn't
couple.
made it down
I
much.
got a couple acres in Florida. I got a little ranch in Texas. You don't got
Pennsylvania.
nothing.
It's all out of state
All out of state.
people.
They marketed it tremendously well. That's like the oldest, because when you're driving to El Paso, still
You see
there's
the
the
signs.
old
The
billboards.
signs are up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. All it is.
I saw
They
that.
sold
Like,
them.
like $250 down and crazy shit.
Yeah,
Like
crazy
desert,
shit.
Desert squares.
Yep.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah.
Dude, they probably made a killing though.
What's the rule? If you buy it, like if you invest in it, something you'd want to keep in case you don't sell it, something you'd want to hang on to.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, you.
I would be
Let-
okay with that. But if I
I'm
lived
not-
in New York, I'd be mad right now. Real mad.
But that's probably what they think Texas looks like.
It all looks like that.
They probably believe that's what Texas looks like.
Yeah,
I
this
forgot
is
where it
real
was, and I was like,
bad.
"Yeah, we have horses on our highways." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Fuck no."
There's a horse lane.
Go what shit. Okay. Go to Zillow and see what we buy 1,000 acres out there for. Be $14.
Really, man? I mean, I think somebody sent me a deal out there, and the acreage was like $90 an acre. I'm like, no, I'm not
Dude.
interested.
But 10-acre tracts, $10,000 an acre.
I'm just not messing with it, man. You
Not
gotta have,
not $10,000 an acre, $1,000 an acre.
I don't know.
But you get somebody on an $80 a month payment.
It's just a weird deal. I'm just not gonna do it.
20 acres for 15.
20 acres
10
for 15.
acres for $4,900. 80 acres for 72.
So you should have bought the $90 an acre.
Nah,
That's that's
it's
10x.
tough, man. It
These
could
are all
take
listed.
you a year or
These
two
are all
to sell
listed.
it.
55 for 159 acres.
See, it's not moving at that price.
I see power poles, Anthony.
Yeah.
159 acres.
I see a ranch in your future.
But the weird part about it is there's water out there.
Yeah.
Seriously, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to drill for it or what?
Yeah, there's gonna be drillable water.
Look at this.
There you
This is
go.
all platted. 10-acre lots out here in the middle of
I
nowhere.
wonder how deep those water
No
wells
road,
are.
no nothing.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
How much
This
is it?
is a scam.
Hey, nobody cares. If,
$800.
nobody,
go.
nobody cares if you're encroaching on your neighbor's land
Dude,
because he's never gonna go check on
$5,800
it.
for 10 acres.
See, this isn't a scam. Like, if you are paying $5,800 for 10 acres, like, you know,
but
it's
you
okay.
bought it for $90 an acre.
Maybe you could have mined some sand out there.
0. What? Wait, 5,800 10 acres. That's 580 yards.
580 an acre.
That's 5x.
19,000, 53 acres. I'm about to buy one.
Wait a minute. Let me find something I could subdivide real quick.
Dude, I'm not mad at it. I mean,
Well,
it's beautiful
I
out
hope
there.
the guy made money.
Like, but if you,
This one comes with a shed for 70.
I'll tell you what happens with land when you get a great price on land. I closed on 100 acres in Orange Grove, Texas, like 2 hours northwest of Corpus, or hour and a half, something like that. It's taken about a year, and we're only like 80% sold out. So not that it won't sell, but it's going to take a little while. So how interested are you, in talking about desert squares for the next 18 months?
Right. I get
Oh
what
no,
mean.
you don't sell the desert squares.
What do you do?
You own or finance them.
You move out there, pursue your American dream.
That's all you, Braxton.
No,
They're the desert,
it had to
Build
be-
an infinity pool here.
They're like running radio ads and stuff up there, probably in the Northeast. Because how do you get customers from all over the country? It's probably late night Fox TV, Fox News infomercials.
Right after the gold coins.
Yeah, like,
It could be anything.
own yourself a ranch in Texas. And
like
there's just some meemaw sitting there, $5,800, and they got a ranch in Texas.
$72 down? No, because if you think about it, places like Maine, New York, all that, they're like, I can't believe what land sells for in Texas. It's just nuts. But there's so much of it here. Like, you can pick your
If you're
price.
paying $100 a month, though, for 10 acres, like, why not?
Yeah, maybe it's just a cool gift to give to one of your like grandkids.
It could be. It could be
here
like
you go.
the Irish, like you can be a
Yeah,
king, a lord or lady. You can be you can own a ranch in
You
Texas.
could be a Texas rancher.
Wasn't somebody
it's
selling like
the-
moon squares or something? Like
Yeah.
a square
Yes.
foot
Yeah.
on the moon? There you go. Something like that. Like here.
That's
You
what
got-
they
you got
did.
They're
20
just
acres in
mementos.
Texas.
It's just,
They did that. Somebody's nice GG, like you're all gathered around the Christmas tree. You open it up, like, what the fuck is this,
you
Meemaw?
you just
Like,
move out there and start squatting.
You
though.
got a deed for you own a ranch in
You own
Texas.
100 acres in Texas, boy.
Where's it at? I don't know.
Thank you, and they're like, it's another one of Meemaw's quacky gifts.
Yeah.
Last year it was silver dollars.
Hey, and
I
then-
got a good deal. It was $1,500.
It has no address either. It has like 42 number fucking VIN number.
Just have coordinates.
You ain't never gonna find it.
What's the address?
And then
I
you
don't
get out
know.
there and it all looks the exact same.
Yeah. That's why nobody's fenced it off, because it's just a big giant desert. The surveyors won't even drive that far out.
There's like it's that.
Just
area.
GPS it. Here, download this app.
Just stay over there, just in that
Yeah.
area, man.
We don't use pins in that area.
Now
There's
we
no
should go
survey
out
pins.
there and shoot content. We should drive to these plots of land. We should shoot. We
El
should
Paso event
research.
on the way.
Yes, we
Stop
should.
out there.
We should research who did this. We should go back in the deed records, figure out who it was, call them up and be like, "Hey, how'd you do this? What was the plan?" Call the owner and be like, "Hey, how did you come across this? Why did you buy it?" Do an entire like documentary over this, and then drive out there and be like,
If it wasn't 14 hours away, I might drive it. How far is it to Van Horn, Texas from here?
"It's ways.
From here,
Yeah.
It's a ways." But Van Horn's beautiful.
only 7 hours and 52 minutes.
It's right up the road.
We're going.
That's close.
We'll be
I was
there.
going that way anyway.
I think with El Paso event.
We can do Bandit Signs and Pecos.
Yep. It is
How
right-
far is Chad from there? Chad,
He's right
he's,
down.
right
at
down the
that
road.
at that point, he's right there.
like
Yeah.
really? Like an hour?
Nah, 2 hours.
Hour and 43 minutes.
Oh, man.
I always stay in Van Horn whenever I drive to El Paso.
Really? Is there anything there?
There's a Hampton Inn,
In Van Horn, Texas?
There's also a couple 10-acre tracts you could buy.
and there's Chewy's. Google
There's
Chewy's.
Chewy's in Van Horn.
Google Chewy's in Van Horn. It's famous.
What's Chewy's.
The Mexican food restaurant.
Oh, really?
It's not the Chewy's that is now famous, but I think it became. I think the new Chewy's kind of played on the fame of the Van Horn Chewy's, and they just don't have enough money to sue them.
Really?
Yeah. Have
That's
you
unfortunate.
Google it? Sohill Chewy's Van Horn. Do they have a website? World famous.
Permanently
Permanently
closed.
What?
Whoa.
No
You
way.
ain't give enough business,
Ooh.
Corey.
They got the 3.3 stars and they called it quits. 1,200
Now
views.
now go to actual Google.
We're out of here.
Now you're gonna be sad when you realize that this is permanently closed.
We're going to wish we could have been experienced it.
Not really.
We should buy it and reopen it.
That's what I was thinking about Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Let's try to get it
Not-
self-financed.
don't go to any
and
of the
revive
Yelps.
that
Just
bastard.
scroll down and see.
0%
You can,
accruing.
you can read
no
it right,
payments.
What are you
right.
looking for?
Texas bucket list right there. Madden Hall of Fame.
How did they get the Madden Hall of Fame?
So John Madden refused to fly after his coaching days, and so when he was an announcer, he was on the Madden bus. So in between, so he would announce a game in L.A., and then the next week he'd be in Houston, and he would ride on a bus, and he would stop at Chewy's. It was his favorite Mexican food restaurant.
Well,
And so
dang.
in there they have the John Madden table.
I saw that. Look, it was labeled. Look, they even got Jesus there.
I can't believe it's
There's
closed.
Chewy.
That's a damn shame.
They must have just died. That's the John Madden table. Me and Emery sat there and ate.
That's where he would sit. That was his spot.
That was his spot. He would roll up in the bus, and there's all pictures of him in there. Apparently, that's his chair.
He'd get there and be like, "Hey, get those people off my table." Tell them I'm
much.
buying their food, but they got to move their ass.
I mean,
Wow, I remember that guy. He was all over TV for a long time.
yeah. Look at that. I don't know if that's good Mexican food. Is that good Mexican food?
It
It's
looks
good
good.
as hell.
It looks good.
I mean, mine was delicious.
I'll try it. Hey, we're going to lunch after this.
We had a burrito.
That was a long time ago.
That was a podcast ago. But anyways, we'll wrap up. Later, guys. Like, subscribe, all the things.
Thanks for watching, guys.
We